Good morning, internet family. Hope you're having a good day today. What day is today? Sunday? Hey! Is it Sunday? I don't even know what day it is anymore. It's messed up. Only making some breakfast. I always end up cutting the package in half. I think it's a family trait. Always end up cutting the package with the food, you know what I mean? I don't know if I told y'all the story about my dad cutting the ice cream container into thirds. And here I am, years later, cutting the bacon in half. Alright. On that note, hope y'all are having a good day. Don't mind my hair. Don't come at me. I need help. My hair is naturally a hot mess, and if I don't straighten it every single day, it's naturally more of a hot mess. So yeah. So. Alright guys. So for those of you who are not bacon lovers, totally understand. Don't agree, but I totally understand. If you don't eat meat, why? Why don't you eat meat? I know why, but I want to hear you why. You know what I mean? So yeah. Everybody's got their reasons for why they do what they do, right? Sometimes we understand them and sometimes we don't. Sometimes the world may just never know. Hello, kitten. Oh, I ended up making several jars of tomato sauce, tomato soup, bisque, whatever you want to call it. Because yes, I did put it in a blender. So yeah. Let me go grab my book real quick. Alright, guys. Ooh, today is a card day, so we'll be pulling cards here shortly. As you can tell, I did not do the morning routine in OOTD. Tough. Socials. Let's see, what's on for socials today? Dang, I missed a bunch of days. Okay. Socials today is... I don't have any on here. Okay, today it just goes straight into make content, or you guys can go ahead and set up your multi-posting tools for this week, like media management and stuff like that. Today is technically Monday. So schedules print out this week and transfer forward. For those of you who are digital, just transfer it forward. For those of you who, okay, so for sharing links, right? Amazon, Whatnot, eBay, and Etsy. Also social links today. Make sure that when you're going in and posting for your multi-posting, that you're putting in there cross-posting linkage, as well as any kind of like wish lists or affiliate links, shop links, stuff like that. Try to get your QR codes out there. I keep talking about it. I'm going to try not to talk about it too much more. I'm trying not to talk about the same things over and over again, but I just light touch on them so this way you guys can remember. House chores today is clean your office area.
Well, hello. You want to join in? What? You're not getting any more food. No. You already had food. Yeah.
So, alright, so clean office area or just the area that you're in. And today is a trash out day, so gathering trash and stuff like that from around your whole house. Stationery Sunday is typically a P.O. box and reply day. I haven't been to the P.O. box in a minute, and the last time that I was there, I didn't have any mail, so I don't have anything to reply to. So yeah, I need to turn this down a little bit. Let's see. Looking for some stuff. Yeah, so there's no mail to reply to. Today is a lot of office work. So for those of you going into this week, you're going to want to go ahead and check your budget. We're going to light touch on money and finances. It's typically a Tuesday thing. But I did add that section in on Sunday because a lot of us, we do things on the weekends and we don't realize where our budget's at until, I have to get gas before I go to work. So, yeah, I highly suggest you going ahead and doing that today. Go ahead and get it instead of having to wait till the last minute and getting it before you go to work. So cash on hand. If you have any apps like Cash App, Venmo, Square, PayPal, any of those. If you have a bank card, double check and make sure everything's good with that. Let's see what else. Any kind of gift cards, savings. We're going to talk here in a little while about like percentage of interest if you do get a savings account, or if you get any kind of like accounts where, say for example, like in Cash App where you can round up now and put it into a savings account, you actually get a percentage on that. So another thing is too, loans, and we're going to talk about credit. Just light touch on it. We'll talk heavier on it on Tuesday. Right now, we're trying to monetize all of the platforms, and we've been talking about starting from zero or negative and cycles of business. Make sure that like any kind of inbound, outbound finances, just go ahead and take a light look at them, even if it's just for a few minutes, to verify and make sure that, you're where you want to be, you know what I mean? Or at least need to be, or where you need to be at in the future.
And on here I wrote vertical and horizontal layouts, but I think I already talked about that. So today is a gym day. We have not been thrifting that much lately because of Mercury retrograde, but we're starting to go back into that again. So keep your eyes out for new products in my seller sites. Let's see. Supper, I'm not sure yet. I think it's going to probably end up being the salmon that's in there right now. I also have, oh no, I'm sorry, we already talked about it. I'm like brain dead this morning. So, supper tonight actually is leftovers from last night, but I'm going to add sausage to it. So I'll go ahead and cut that up while I'm making breakfast and put it in there. So I don't have to worry about it later. It's already going to meld them flavors together. Alright. And then clean up tonight is just typically dishes. Make sure your kitchen's clean before you go to bed. Which is a task for myself as well. Nightly routine. I have on here shave because I actually got new razors and I'm super happy about it. And then power down. So I actually made a new charging station area, like not next to my bed, but like at the foot of my bed. And I really like it because of the fact that it's not like right next to my head. I don't immediately have that urge to pick it up and pull it to me like anytime, you know what I mean? Like it's a little further away, so I have to actually get up to get it instead of, you know, back in the day we used to put our alarm clock like all the way on the other side of the room, so this way we were forced to get up and go turn it off, right? It's the same thing. So now we have to do it with our phones. So I suggest having any kind of power stations or anything like that away from your head, away from your bed, when you're sleeping at night as much as possible. That way you can actually get some good sleep. I think we did talk about some of the, oh, I'm sitting the phone on top of the baking grease, dang it. So we did talk a little bit about a lot of different things, actually. Let's see. I have a couple of different pages that I pulled forward from last week, because remember, we still have to get product. So, supplies, so I'll need ink to print out the next week. But that might actually help force me into the digital side of it because of the fact that I don't have another week's papers. And then for me to just keep filling in these papers, eventually I'm going to run out of room, blah, 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 right? So that's why I was starting to lean a little bit more towards digital. And that was another thing that Jeff was telling me too. He's like, you need to do more digital stuff. And I was like, you're right. You need to do less paper and more digital. So I'm always going to be old school, and I'm always going to have a paper copy of pretty much everything I can possibly have my hands on. Just because that's just how I am. That's how I've always been. I don't know. So I try to keep a paper copy of everything, but nobody has the space for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole reason why we went digital in the first place. Also, so this way we can cross offices, but either way, so anyway. So I'll try to be a little bit more digital this week. It's going to be interesting for me because it's been a struggle for me ever since the digital world came about for me to transfer all of my stuff digitally. It's like the last little bit that I actually have to do. So. Hey guys, I'm trying to like see the screen and I can't hardly see the screen right now. So My eyes are all like weird right now. I need glasses really badly. Like really, really badly. Not reader glasses, like actual prescription glasses. I need my eyes checked. Why is my leg so itchy? I need to hit this one. Yeah. Alright. So yeah. So as soon as I get a chance to be in front of the office again, here in a minute, once I get done cooking, then we'll get on to that. And we'll do the card reading. So so yeah. Ways to utilize money across platforms and cycle of business. I think I keep saying that. Diet plan plus one workout. Yeah, this one's blank. Alright. And I've also been trying to do better about keeping up with older paperwork. Like, for example, like I used to fill out this book, and then once I was done with the book, I would just put the book to the side and then start a new book, right? And I didn't think anything of it, and then it got jumbled up, it got lost, especially with the moves that I've done. And so all of that stuff, anything that I had was in storage, and it's gone now. So the papers that I do have, I have to keep a hold of them, but especially for those of you who are in like the homeschooling, unschooling thing, right? You have to, and even with regular school, you have to keep up with like their immunization paperwork and stuff like that. And like, I think their school testing grades or whatever. But for the homeschooling, like one of the main requirements that they have is that you have to comply with like the state testing. Okay. Even in homeschooling, you still have to, the state requires you to meet a certain testing level. I don't fully understand it. I never have. You'll probably have better luck talking to people in like your community about it. I don't know how you would purchase one. I'm sure there's like a ton of options online, and that's one of the things that you kind of get bombarded with when you first start homeschooling. Is you get bombarded with all of this information of all of the possibilities of what you can walk into. And then you end up clinging on to the one thing that you know, which is public school, which is the schedules, which is the same information over and over and over again, right? So when you're trying to do the homeschooling or even unschooling and you're trying to think outside the box, the thing is that you're so used to that box that now when you have all of these other options, it's really hard to pick and choose from it, right? Like what's good for you? Like, what's the best choice for me? Because it was previously given to you before. See what I'm saying? Like, you're automatically given all the information at school. Whereas with homeschooling, you have to go find that information on your own. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of groups and there's a lot of people that are really into this. And they've been in it for a long time. Maybe they're associated with public schools. Maybe they are associated with, like, a private school or something like that. Or maybe they're not associated to anything at all. Maybe they're just like, you know, a homesteader that's just doing it for their family. Or maybe not even a homesteader, because everybody automatically thinks like, oh, well, they're homeschooling. So either A, they're like super preppy or something, or they're like homesteaders. It's like the weird vibe that you get whenever you hear the word homeschool. But that's not the totality of it. So... And unschooling is a whole nother completely different thing than that. So, so you do have a lot of like options when it comes to that, you know, and it really is a little overwhelming at first. Especially now where like the budget cuts are happening and like people are getting pushed towards like having no other option but to homeschool, you know, especially in scenarios where you get truancy. I have a class 1 misdemeanor from truancy. So, you know, you have the possibility of doing jail time, you know, if you don't follow the rules of whatever it is that, you know, they're requiring of you. So there's still high consequences with it, no matter which way you look at it, right? So, The thing is, though, is that, like, with the homeschooling, you have a lot more, what I consider to be more freedoms. Like I said, you get to pick and choose how you want to learn because it's self-guided learning almost. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you learn in the way that it works best for you. Like, there's general topics, but it's more of a, you find what works for you better, right? Instead of what's being told what's going to work for you. I mean, don't get me wrong, public schools are awesome, but not all of them. And to be fair, you know, at least the ones that I've experienced, there's good and bad in all things, you know? So, babe, we should do the paper towels. Yeah. So, I mean, it kind of is something that I would suggest that you guys, before you just go jump into it, and you just think, oh, well, that's an easy out, or maybe that just, you know, whatever, it works for me. It may or may not work for your child as well. So, that's a conversation that you may want to have with your child also. Is, do they even want to homeschool? You know, some of them don't want to. Some of them really want to, and some of them have no idea what they're talking about. So they just go along with whatever, right? So I highly suggest that you do, at the very least, have that conversation, you know, with your child before you do anything. And then talk about what the possibilities are, so this way they know what they're looking for. It's the same concept of moving schools. For those of you who have never moved to school, it's a pretty extreme feeling, you know what I mean? And especially when you're going from school to homeschooling, there has to be this, like, decompression period between going to school regularly to being adjusted and acclimated to homeschooling, because now this is a whole nother chapter of a new book. You know what I'm saying? Like, chapter 1, new book. Now we're just opening it, and, you know, there's all these possibilities, right? But the same thing goes in our minds. As much as there is possibilities, is as much as there is fear. So yes, there is a lot of fear going into it. And I suggest that you don't fear it as much as learn about it. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point in having it in the first place, is to be able to learn what works best for you and your family, or whoever. You don't even have to have family in your homeschool. It could be another family. It could be another, you know, a group of kids, or not even kids. They could be adults, you know? So I mean, there's a lot of different, you know, ways of looking at it. And so it's hard to say for one specific group of people or group set to have one, you know, there's not just one way. I keep saying this, there's not just one way. And that's the whole point, is you do have options. You have currently the option to choose a local school. You have the option to choose a private school. You have the option to homeschool. You have the option to unschool. Right, there's 4 options for you. And there's options within those options. So, and now there's requirements, and there's rules, and there's laws, and there's, you know, certain things about each one of them that has, like, pros and cons and all of it, right? So you're the one that ultimately has to make that decision. And luckily, because of the fact that there is currently only a certain set of amount of things for a certain area, depending on where you live, you know, luckily TikTok's actually gotten involved in this and allows the STEM program to be, you know, if you swipe over, you know, past your favorites and stuff, and past the people that you're following, past the shop and everything, I don't know which direction it is, but, and you look at STEM, and I think there's another one that's called Explore or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so that's all education live. all the time from actual teachers. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be learning something all the time. It's right there in front of you every single day. And it doesn't have an age limit. It's like a K-12 school, but it's like a K or 0-100 school. So, yeah. As long as you're able to kind of learn from that, then there you go. My brain is on. Multitasking is halted right now. I took the pan off of the heat because if I didn't, I was going to burn myself to death, and I don't want to do that. So yeah, I mean, you have a lot of options when it comes to this, and try to, I don't know, maybe you could try to reach out to like local, if anybody really uses Facebook anymore. I'm not sure if TikTok has certain groups for this. If you don't, there you go. There's an idea. You could start it yourself. Like homeschooling groups, or unschooling groups. You know, and start asking questions. You know, we hate to see in the chat the same freaking question all the time, right? But it's because this person's coming in for the first time. So yeah, answer it. So, you know, there's a lot of options that you have. And when you have a lot of options like that, like I've said before, you know, the rule of 4, you have the yes, the no, the maybe, and the unknown. Your brain really can't process past 4 options very well. It gets blurry. Okay. So, when, I forgot what I was going to say. Okay. 4. Hold on. I don't want to burn myself. I'm kind of nervous already. Watch out, kitty. So the rule of 4, I lost what I was talking about. Dang it. I hate it when my brain does that. Do you ever have one of those hereafter moments? It's where you're like going from one room to another. You can't quite remember what you hear after. But Kitty, you want to go outside? You want to go out too? No? Okay. Say no, I just want to sit on the table for the rest of the day. So, okay, going back to what I was saying, the rule of 4, having too many options, sometimes your mind kind of like gets a little blurry, right? Like mine does. And it makes it like a fear base, right? So you get this fear base and it overwhelms you, and it becomes almost like all of the information that's coming towards you is almost like it's overstimulating. Like it's so much information and so many options to choose from that you kind of get like lost in the sauce. You know what I mean? And so it's really scary when you're first coming into it. And a lot of times people will invest a lot of money into programs where they think that they're going to get this like layout that's going to be exceptional. And they realize later that because of the economy, they can't even keep up with the finances for that. And homeschooling is expensive. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. And a lot of people invest into the wrong programs and end up having to backtrack because now they're missing things that the state needed that they don't have. So it's not exactly a clear-cut line because of the fact that you have the option and opportunity to pick and choose for yourself what it is that you want to do and how you want to learn it. On top of that, you have a portfolio that you have to keep up with for each one of your children or students. And for those of you who have not been that type of person before, that's a lot. So, you know, it's it's a decision that you really need to consider thinking about for a little bit longer than just jumping into it, okay? But I know for a fact that one day, because I have unschooled and homeschooled my children, that they will be able to have a little bit more success than they would have had before. Now, don't get me wrong. I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I'm still making mistakes as I go, evidently. And, you know, that's a part of the learning process for the adult, too. As a teacher, you never stop learning either. You know, we think, oh, these teachers, they know everything. They're just here to teach us. No, they're learning, too. They're learning about every single one of you. And how you learn and what works for you. And how far along you've come. And they watch you every single day while you're there, when you're not paying attention. They watch you grow. You become a part of their life just as much as they become a part of yours. And even if you hate the teacher, and even if the teacher seems like they hate you, there's still a bond that happens there, whether you realize it or not. And we don't just learn from one person. You know the old saying of, it takes a real village to raise a child? Yeah, that's right. But it also takes a universe to raise a soul. Okay? How many things have you learned from exterior people, places, and things? Outside of school. Don't get me wrong. For those of us who actually did have a traditional way of learning, I say traditional, this is very general. Because different places all over the world learn in different ways. It's just, at least in my area, we have certain rules and laws that make it different for us here than it would somewhere in a different place in the world, right? I mean, I hear all the time about people who walk for miles just to get to school. I did too when I was growing up. Different circumstances. I know that for a fact, there are people who have never seen the inside of a classroom. That their classroom is outside. Imagine that. Maybe for some people, being inside four walls, sitting at a desk and learning the lines is their life, and that's how it works for them. But some people think outside that little box. We still know the box. We're familiar with the box. But we also see what's outside of that box and all the different possibilities that's attached to that box. Okay? And I want you guys to do that too. That's why I keep pushing Khan Academy, KHAN Academy.org. I'm not affiliated with them, but they are a free education website where any age can go on there. It's free. And it has full college courses. Full college courses for free. Okay? Elon Musk sponsored them and donated to them. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know how I ever worked in a kitchen before. My multitasking is not on par today. So yeah. There's no reason to not learn. And I mean, I'm even learning along with y'all. you guys already know for a fact that I only have a 4th grade math education level. We already tested it. You know, when you have kids, you start to realize how much the world changes around you. How fast the world changes around you. I mean, even if you don't have kids, you still do this too. But like when they start school and you start having to help them with their homework and stuff, that's when you realize where I was lacking in school. But again, it goes back to I had a learning disability that I didn't really pay much attention to. And so I didn't learn like everybody else did, you know? I was more in La La Land, or Delulu Land, as they say now. So, you know, I had a speech impediment, and I had a hard time speaking, and I stopped reading when I was in middle school. Because my teacher at the time didn't like the fact that I brought romance novels to school in middle school. They felt it was inappropriate. Well, that was the only book I was interested in reading, so thanks for that. And that's what I mean. You know, my mom was just trying to get me to read anything at this point, right? And I already knew about that stuff. So, probably learned it from a lot of other sources. So, I mean, why not, right? And other people will see that as an issue, like a huge issue. And evidently she did too. Again, it's how we're raised. It's how we are told about the world. And then we also learn about the world as we get older. And I didn't take that situation as a learning experience. I took it as a personal offense. And I literally stopped reading. I refused to read after that for a long time. It wasn't until I had my first child that I started actually reading stuff again. And I was 21. So from middle school to 21, I didn't want to read anything anymore. I literally would skim through it and then that'd be it. And I barely passed high school. They really only pushed me through because of the fact that like there was a 0 dropout rate that year. But yet, even with all of that, I still was able to manage a national account manager job where I was flying to a different company, a different state every week and getting paid to do it. Anybody can come up from anything, okay? So no matter what you think you don't know, that's okay. That's a starting point. That's whatever you think is your weakness is your starting point. So build from it, okay? If you know for a fact, oh, I'm not good at math, there you go. Great starting point. I'm not good at math. Okay, let's get good at math. Let's start at the very freaking beginning. Kindergarten. Do kindergartner homework. I'm not joking. Try it. Because the way that they learn now is different than the way that we learned growing up. I mean, if anybody's even experienced Common Core math, you're traumatized for life. So, especially those of you who grew up in like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s to now, oh my goodness. So, I mean, just in the past 5 years alone has been nothing but change, right? So, you gotta do what you gotta do. And the only way that we're gonna be able to be successful as a society in the future is if we continue learning and growing. So, and learn from each other. Like, learn from your elders as well as talk to people who were a lot younger than you. Not in like a creepy way.
Thank you.
You're welcome, babe. So yeah, I mean, and I'm sitting here telling y'all like how to be, and I don't even know how to be. It's funny. I actually like tried to be a part of like the Big Brother Big Sister group when I was younger, and I got banned from it. What? Yeah, was not a good example of a person. Which I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. But if you get past your emotions real quick and take a step back, you'll start to see, and let that ego settle for a hot minute and start to see that I'm not such a bad person after all. We just do things differently. What are they doing? What? How dare you? Pish posh. So yeah. Oh, hey, real quick. I didn't do Territory Thursday, so hold up. Let me unbury the basil. There we go. Okay, hold up. I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. Flip over. Pow! Ka-chow! Look at them. I was about to say, how about them apples, but how about them tomatoes? Yes, beautiful. Delicioso. We will learn Spanish today as well. I'm just kidding. So, there we go. No, what is that stuff called? No pesticides. Literally just 555 fertilizer and water. And a lot of coffee and eggs, shells, and some paper products. Like random. And basil. So yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes, oh yes. There is actually several jars of sauce. Hello. I'm gonna make you famous for a minute. You ready? Ka-chow. He's like, nah. He's like, nope. Bro, don't do that to me. I got. Oh. Sauce. I got the sauce. It's tomato bisque. And it was awkward. What did I need in it? Like, flavor. Alright. Oh. Got 3 jars of that. And I thought I had some actual tomato sauce. I guess we used it. And here lately, I've been making a protein shake with this like frozen fruit stuff. It's so good. Oh my gosh. Cheaper free. As much as possible. Hello, buddy. Hello. Want to say hi to the camera? Say hi. His face, y'all. He's just like, she put me on the camera again. Anyway, like the same. I get the same response from my kids whenever I put the camera anywhere near them. Like, please don't do it. They're so tired of me being on this fucking phone. I'm sure. Crafter's nightmare. Hold on. I'm gonna show you. Yeah, so I have no room to put anything down because my entire desk is covered with clay stuff. Oh, there's breakfast. So, yeah. Anyway, give me a minute. Oh, and my phone is about dead. Okay, so I'm actually going to kick off of here and I'm going to go on the studio, okay? So catch me in the studio. Peace out, y'all. Behave.